superstructures everywhere, and there's subjects everywhere, and there's energetics everywhere, and it just feels like, what's going on here?
Everything about this is crazy.
A lot of energy and energetics right here, there's a lot of energy and energetics over here, there's a lot on top of this like big main pyramid. This mountain superstructure is just like spewing out energy. This mountain superstructure is just raining down onto this whole area.
Across the square, watch the tourists burning in blue fire and gasoline, burned in all colours by them. Just look at them out there, all those little figures dissolving in the light. Rather than think we had this end except for the smell of gasoline burning
If there was a witch, or a dark Jedi, or a demon, Satan himself is a saint compared to that. This woman right here is the most evil thing I have ever experienced in my entire life. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. She's got this scepter type of thing, like a staff with this weird thing at the top of it that looks like multiple glass lenses inside of each other, but they're spinning. Like they can spin. And it's like, I don't know what powers it. It's like a technological type of thing. And she's yelling, she holds the spear up, and get this, rays of light shine out of the spear. Rays of light shine out of the spear and land in the middle of all this fighting, and goddamn fire pops out of the ground like a magic spell. This is ridiculous. And she doesn't care who gets blown up. She doesn't care who she's hit. She's just like, she wants them to die, and it's not just she wants them to die or go away or anything. It's like, I don't just want to defeat you. I want to inflict an incredible amount of pain and feel the rage unchecked, like so unchecked, like to levels of unchecked that no person has ever experienced before. Rage and the desire to inflict an incredible amount of pain onto everyone and everything. Take Emperor Palpatine, Satan himself, all of the evil people from every Hollywood movie, they are minuscule ants compared to the evil that I feel when I go into this person's heart and feel the rage so unchecked. She's just standing there watching them kill each other. And they're walking back to the Citadel, and she's just looking at them. She's like, this is the craziest thing ever. This is the craziest woman ever. This is the craziest person ever. I feel hot right now. Just describing it, I felt hot when I was doing the paper sessions to probe it. This is crazy. Everything about this is crazy. This person's crazy.
Well, hello, and welcome to the show, folks. Exile Minds podcast. Me, the famous Liam Martin. Yeah, I didn't think I was going to get one out again today. having the same streaming problems again as yesterday, the ones I thought I'd fix. So, well, we'll see how we go. It seems to be working at the minute, so just keep going, okay? I might have to start streaming it a couple of hours earlier and then just keep popping it till I eventually get there. But yeah, so yeah, no camera at the minute because I didn't think it was going to work. But yeah, today, Examines podcast. It's still the 25th, just about 25th May 2023, for me at least. And yeah, welcome to the show, Examines podcast. We explain the weird, the wonderful, and the meaningful. And today, I'd like to. I had two other shows I was going to do today, but I decided to switch last minute, as it happens. And so today we're going to have a bit of a look at the Bock Saga, which is it's a weird one. This one, it's a bit of a story. The Bock Saga. I came across this. It's a kind of alternate history of mythos, which we'll get into. But I came across this sort of by accident. It was one of those you get those conferences, this paranormal type conference deals, and there was a guy whose name escapes me now. He might have been Tony. I don't know, somebody Tops or something. Anyway, this guy talks about this Bock Saga in this book. He's telling the story, and it's pretty damn wild. So I ended up getting the book, and I was going to do a bit of a. I'd planned to do a kind of. I was going to do it as an audio book, and I wrote to the authors, and I wrote to the publishers, and I never heard anything back. And so I had a look what sort of the AI ChatGPT was thinking about it. And, it came back with this spiel of, it is interesting. I found this book really fascinating, and I was going to do an audio book, but it's really hard to pronounce. There's a lot of Scandinavian languages in there, and I didn't get permission from them and didn't know what to do. And so I thought, you know what, it's been sat on the shelf for a while, literally. I think there's some connections in reading it that's really kind of wild. So I really want to do this. So today I thought last minute, hey, we'll have a look into this one, because if there's anything in here, it's going to take a long time. It's going to take a long time to get through this one. And then we wanted to do it for a while. And I've got a feeling it might somehow connect with Sudan in some weird way. So eventually, one day. So that's what we're going to cover today on the Examines podcast. The Bock Saga, which is basically an alternative historical narrative or mythology created by a Swedish author. It's what the computer research, the official narrative says. It's created by a Swedish author named Anders B. Nilsson, who wrote it under his pseudonym Anders Bock. So it claims. This is the official sort of narrative of this book. And according to Nilsson's narrative, the Bock Saga purports, well, this is what it says in the book. It purports an ancient hidden history of humanity, tracing back thousands of years, and it claims to provide an alternative account of the human origins too, in the ancient civilizations, historical events, including the origins of language, culture, and religion. So it's got some bold claims in this saga, and it suggests that humanity's common ancestry is originating from a lost continent, which is often associated with Atlantis, called Atland, which is supposedly located in the Atlantic Ocean. That's why it gets, the association. But with the Bock Saga, it's encompassing a wide range of topics as well. So that's why I say it could be quite big. If we take a real exploration into all of this properly. So I've not read the book because I wanted to do it as an audiobook and this, that, and the other, and I didn't know what to do with it. So kind of sat on it for a while. But it does say it's a wide range of topics, including supposed connections between the ancient classics, the ancient Egyptians, the Greeks, the Romans, and the Vikings. So that's why I wanted to have a look into this, because I was originally earlier on looking at possibly doing a show on the Vikings and seeing how they got to know the Russians and then seeing if what about this Tataria thing that people talk about, rolling that together. But then this came up, and I thought, we'll stick with this. We've got the elements of the Norse mythology with some links into Egypt, Greece, ancient Romans, Vikings. Sounds pretty cool, right? So you've got Norse mythology connecting various the historical figures of Odin, and putting Odin into like a much larger narrative sort of thing. It's got a lot of complex, sort of intricate linguistic genealogies and theories and interpretations of ancient text. However, I find it quite interesting. There's always the caveat for the Bock Saga is not to be considered mainstream history. It's not scholarly discourse, as they say. It's not the part of the historical accounts. It's to be viewed as an alternative history or mythology or speculative fiction. The claims of the Bock Saga lack empirical evidence, right? This comes back if you use the chat GPT or this kind of status quo disclaimer sort of thing. And it puts, again, a little caveat at the end there that while some individuals may find Bock Saga intriguing or entertaining, it's not recognised as a reliable historical source and generally regarded as a work of fiction. But this is the thing, it's unclear if it is supposed to be a work of fiction or not. Because here, a computer language model has gone and looked at the internet, and this is what it's spat back. But I happen to know that ChatGPT can't listen to audio recordings. I know because I asked it just the other day to analyse a particular track for me, and it said it can't listen to, but it could tell you how to analyse tracks, So it still answered the question, but it happened to inform me it can't listen to things. And plus, I don't know how much nuance it can pick up, So I happen to know that, wow, yeah, it's saying here that the Bock Saga is not, is not reliable, and it's regarded as a work of fiction, and it was written by a guy called Nielsen as a work of fiction. That's not where I got it from this conference, and then I went and looked up this documentary. No, I've seen the people filming I.A. Bock. So is that the author Nielsen guy? But no, the book I've got is not listed. It's not even got an author written on the front. Okay, and inside the book, it says storytellers. Okay, so not authors. It says storytellers. Michelle Merley and Kevin Woods. Well, it says storytellers here because this specifically stated that in this particular book, and in the documentary, or just the video footage of I.A. Bock and talking to him, they're specifically talking about how this is where they're carrying on. They're carrying on the torch. That's how they're seeing it. They're seeing it as sort of telling the story and keeping it going, because the whole point of this is that the story is being lost. Right. So I don't know this Nielsen guys. I don't know where ChatGPT has come up, but this book literally doesn't have an author written on the cover. And say inside in the acknowledgements, it just says 5th edition, the 30th of January 2021. And yeah, the storytellers. And then it says that it's written by CPH Borgen and the editors and Aurora Woods. And I know why that says that, and it itself is because in the documentary, when you see them recording, they've discovered this guy, and he suddenly started telling them a story one day, and drops this sort of bombshell. So they start recording it and writing it down, and tell the world. That's what I knew it to be. So I don't know. Well, so I thought it was an interesting one. But like I say, for me, I think it's worthwhile exploring. And just reading the glossary alone is quite a fascinating read. As I see, if you read it looking through sort of ancient history eyes, in the context of, some things might have been being oppressed and suppressed and there's lost knowledge, and look through those conspiracy eyes, you'll find it's even just a glossary. It's quite fascinating. And as I often like to point out, the dissenting voice in science is where those breakthroughs are coming through. So I think we ought to take a look. So let's get this share screen up, because in fact we've got. What is that showing? That's a bit weird. For the video viewers there, we should have a. I don't know what's going on, eh? Everything's going wrong today. Everything's going wrong. My pages have gone off. My little share screen's not showing anymore. But that's alright. But oh, here we go. Gotta unblock it. Right, so yeah, I mean, let's move that off there, get that out of the way. So yeah, the Bock Saga. There's an official website that's printed in the book, and it's still active. So I don't understand. It said www.bocksaga.info. That's Bock Saga spelled BOCKSAGA, as in like a bock, like a book, you know, a stag. But for video viewers, like I say, you can see the image on screen, and yeah, there's an official website if anybody wants to check it out. There is specifically a gallery as well, some audio video stuff. It's a nice little website. You know, it gives you. It's got a landing page, there's an intro section all along the top. There's all these clearly marked out sections you can sort of check out. So plenty of illustration as well, which is always nice. So then, from the official website, the principle behind the official website is to give all interested people a website they can trust to be honest and accurate according to the saga, and create some kind of hub where everyone who has been recording Aya, or either audio or video devices, can make a copy and send it to us, that in time we can collect all the recordings via his velvet voice. Aya is basically what I'm saying, what I understand this story. Aya is the last remaining member of the Bock family, and he told a story and people have heard it and decided to write it down and share it with the world. So I don't know where ChatGPT came up with this, or is an author Nielsen did a fake name. It's not even the right name, it's Aya Bock. So I don't know where ChatGPT came up with this sort of notion of this Nielsen guy. But, you know, Anders Bock, who's that? We're talking Aya Bock. But anyway, I don't know what the conflict is there, to be honest. Maybe maybe this website is like a fan thing, or I don't know. Maybe it's a thing to make it seem real, to hype it. But I don't know. That seems a bit like I'm reaching with that explanation. But anyway, so the principal idea behind this official website then, and so people could have a hub where you can talk about this stuff, collect any audio and video recordings, and encourage you to send copies. Okay, so there's a Bock Saga at yahoo.com if you knew Aya Bock, heard some of the stories, recorded it, that sort of thing. Okay, so people are trying to keep this going. It's a thing, is it what I'm saying? Well, that's weird. It's a controversial book, and it is a really fascinating story. So let's get into it then. This is the press release. Controversial Bock Saga is finally being published in book form after being kept under wraps for thousands of years by the Bock family. An eccentric Finnish tour guide and historian, Aya Bock, caused quite a stir in Scandinavia in the late 20th century when he started to relate his extraordinary, quote, family story, which challenges mainstream beliefs about the origin, history, and societal structures of mankind. Bock Saga, an introduction. Storytellers Michelle Mill and Kevin Woods and author Carl Bojan took it upon themselves and the mammoth task of penning down the ancient saga time capsule, having been one of the first persons with whom Aya chose to share the revelations of the Bock Saga in 1984. Coupled with years of extensive research, they emerge as an authentic voice on the subject. The 264-page book chronicles the Bock Saga in its entirety, delving into the ancient origins of man on Earth and that the Nordic culture that, according to the saga, predated that of Babylonia and Mesopotamia. Okay, so they're saying they predate them. This is why is big. Its creation theory postulates that the first two humans, Free and Freya, lived in Odema, which was situated around the exact North Pole in what is today Finland. And the way that that works is that they're saying it was at a time before the Earth was on an axis, and Finland then was where the North Pole is. So the Bock Saga, an introduction, sets out about describing prehistorical period, often referred to as the Paradise Time in many religions, and an encyclopedic detail. It lists everything. Yeah, it does actually. It's just to give you the whole narrative really tight, like all the deets. And it continues up until the modern day. The Bock Saga itself thus offers us a comprehensive view of world history, albeit one that sheds a very, very different light on established cultural beliefs and facts, told in a matter-of-fact style. However, it does not promote any specific religions or philosophical beliefs, but yes, the role of the gods throughout the ages are explained in a rather unexpected but logical way. Oh, hey, greetings from Madsen. Hiya. Maple Bob 23. How's it going? Whoop whoop. I didn't think I was going to get a stream out today, so you look here, because it just kept crashing for some reason. But here we are. Doing a show, getting some practice in, getting tight on a radio clock. And then, yeah, because we'll be going, taking the Exile Minds podcast to Radioland soon enough. We can stop this stream issues, keep crashing and that. But we'll get it fixed. There's got to be a way. Like Method Man Method Man often says, if you keep playing the record, ain't a problem I can't fix. Anywho. Nice to see you. Nice somebody's there. I'm not just talking to myself. Although I don't mind, you know. Don't fall out that often. Anywho, yes. So, yeah, Bock Saga comes with a little warning. Wow. Noticed that before. A little warning with the Bock Saga. The rare knowledge contained in the saga might change the way you view our shared past, present and future. Prepare yourself for many aha moments as the strange world we live in suddenly makes a bit more sense. And you know what? That's not really hyperbolic. And that's happened with other books. Non-conspiracy, right. That happened to me. The aha moments, and it suddenly makes things make a bit more sense. That happened to me reading that book by Brian Muraresku, The Immortality Key. If I just quickly type that up, I've got to go to a break pretty soon, but yeah, I'm going to type this, The Immortality Key, just for the video viewers. Get this book by Brian Muraresku. Is epic long, but stick with it. Right, because I had those aha moments, and books can do that, just like it says here in the Bock Saga. The knowledge contained in the book might change the way you view the shared past, present, and future. Many aha moments as the strange world we live in suddenly makes a bit more sense. That happened with this book, different book, Brian Rescue, The Immortality Key, and all that is a Christian scholarly guy going and meeting the people and being respectful, getting to look at the archives, just reading the stuff, trying to figure out the kind of the pagan continuity hypothesis. See if paganism's actually been going the whole way through, and he discovered so many aha things, you know. Like Jesus is basically Dionysius, and the water and the wine thing is the same thing, the wine god from ancient Greece, and it's about taking, you know, a fortified psychedelic wine, the kykeon, like a psychedelic, so you can speak to God yourself. And that's why you're like eating Jesus, you know, like consuming the consuming Jesus' flesh and the blood, the wafer, and that's like consuming the body. There's some descriptions where they say they gnawed on it as if it was like a mushroom. But yeah, immortality case, aha moments there. And so, like I say, it's not really being hyperbolic, this claim from the Boch Saga people. Look into this stuff. It can really change your point of view on things. But anyway, anywho, on a little break situation. So we're going to put, where's this crazy tune on earlier? What should we put this time? We'll have some music for the break. Yeah, I'll just put this old one song on for now. And we'll come back, check out the Bock Saga after this short little interlude. There's all my music, by the way, no licensing issues. But hey, checking them out from Miss Lynn Martin. Back in just a moment.
When Professor Angel became convinced that the sculptor was indeed ignorant of any cult or system of cryptic lore, he besieged his visitor with demands for future reports of dreams. This or regular, or after the first interview. Manuscript records daily calls of the young man, during which he related startling fragments of nocturnal imagery, whose burden was always the terrible cyclopean vista of dark and dripping stone. With a subterranean voice or intelligence shouting monotonously in enigmatical sense impacts, indescribable save as gibberish. The two sounds most frequently repeated are those rendered by the letters Fu and Li. The youth's febrile mind, apparently, was dwelling on strange things. And the doctor shuddered now and then as he spoke of them. Touched wildly on a gigantic thing, miles high, which walked or lumbered about. Occasional frantic words convinced the professor that it must be identical with the nameless monstrosity he had sought to depict in his dream sculpture.
Welcome back to the show, Examites Podcast. Me, the famous Ian Martin. Thanks for being with us. Back on with the show. Bock Saga today. We'll have a look at this one. See what's what with the old Scandinavian Finnish mysteries. Right then, you're on camera now. Hey, here I am. Here's my ugly mush. So yeah, back in business. Right, let's get back on this share screen then. Yeah, so Bock, I think that's his name. Computer says no. Computer says it's a made-up alternative narrative on, origins, human history, where we're coming from, that sort of thing, religions. And I'm saying it looks like, no, it's an ancient family story that might well have something to it. It's still interesting. Yeah, let me check this. I mentioned this earlier, just in the glossary. Okay, I've got the actual book. I'll just get it on camera. Look. Ooh, Bock Saga is flipped around, but the Bock Saga is like a infinity ring. That's hilarious. There's a reason the snake's eating its tail. Ouroboros, that's called. But there's... Wait till you find out what that's about. Wait. You just wait. Let's move this mic. That's meant the way the screen a bit, the camera a bit. Right, check this. Right, I'll make you wait for that one. Check this, right? Just looking at the glossary at the back. Check this. I'll try and keep it away from the mic for the audio. But for those on the radio, yeah, it's got this Bock Saga book then. Just at the back, there's a glossary with some of the words in. And they're like, it's a mixture of Finnish and all kinds of Scandinavian languages. So you've got this glossary at the back. And there's a mixture of Danish. It's mostly Swedish and Finnish. But it gets into, because they've got these languages, they're called Van and Rot languages. Like, it means the root language. Like Saga, they're saying it's like that Van and Rot is like give and take. Saga is that give and take. The languages are called a give and take, like an alchemical principle. But also, I thought that was then interesting that tarot is a bit like that, the tarot. The Rot, because they have the root language is, they spell it Rot, the Rot language. You have a Van language and a Rot language. And I thought Tar-Rot is a bit like the Saga, Tar-Rot, and tarot is like give and take. But anyway, yeah, quick look at the glossary. Okay, so the first word, yeah, it's basically the Stargate symbol. I don't think it'll come up good on the camera. It's basically the Stargate symbol. The letter A, I can't get the light. It's the Stargate symbol for Earth. It's the letter A, right? And it's basically the same Stargate symbol for Earth in Stargate. And the ancient letter A means water, stream, river. Stream of sperma, the salve that flows from generation to generation. And if you put on, and you can use, instead of having a circle at the top, you can have two dots. And that's ang. And ang, and that's meadow. You've got Africa, you've got ankh, like the ankh, like ancient Egypt, a device used to receive offerings in the kingdom of the pharaoh. Now Appa is monkey, which means key to the moon. The moon key, the monkey. Think about it, the monkey, the moon key, the key to the moon. Think, hang on a minute, and the Appa man, didn't they call one of them? And the Asgard, the garden of Odin, Odema, that's like the first city, as I mentioned earlier, and that's it's called Odemna. Yeah, Odin was. There's all kinds of crazy words in here. Bock, the Bock family. Okay, the Bock family who guided the human race from the firstborn humans until the death of Aya Bock, as described in this book, right? But the Bock also refers to the Bock, like a stag. And Bock Sing Day, which we found out later on in this book, so many chapters in, like 16. And Bock Sing Day is where in like harvest time, they had a kind of Christmas thing, but you'd have a log over a ditch, and it was like it's a knockout game, like gladiator thing, where Boxing Day comes from you pretend to be a stag with another guy, yeah, and they tie sacks onto your hands, right, by ropes. I don't know what they're filling with, but you had to whack each other up with these sacks and try and knock each other off the log. That was Boxing Day. You both being a Bock stag, trying to beat each other, and whoever falls off is obviously the loser, right? And whoever wins is considered the god's favour than that day. And then that guy has like a stag do, like a party, while his wife to be then, he goes and makes a blanket in the meadow out of flowers for hours. So we're going to have a stag do to give her time to prepare. And then he'll come in and he'll have sex with her, and then they'll make the new baby for the year. And they had a very strict system of how to disseminate babies down and keep the bloodlines really pure for everyone. And everyone had a role, and then as the city grew, the rings went out and you had a further England. It's really fascinating. Oh, piano player. Oh, nice. Piano player, Maple Bob. Yeah, I love a bit of piano playing. I tried learning during lockdown, you know. Yeah, I learned that, never meant to be long. Pyramid Song, Radiohead, to get my fingers working. It feels good, though. Yeah, that's what I like to do. That's all I'm about. There's things I don't know anything about. I just want to understand the world, so I can understand me, because I'm, you know, not understandable. Even to me sometimes. So yeah, just trying to figure stuff out. That's the way to do it. In the Bible, it says, keep seeking. You know, Jesus telling you, keep seeking. That's what JC said. He said, keep seeking, and you'll find. But then keep seeking, and then you'll find, and then don't stop until you get disturbed. That's what it says. I'm paraphrasing. Yeah, it says keep seeking, and you'll find. And you'll discover the earth, and you'll be disturbed, and you'll marvel. You know? Yeah, it's freeing. Anyway, right, let's get this share screen back on. Yeah, some crazy words. If you just read it, and things just start popping out. It's just weird. When I first read this, it was like, there's so many words in here that, like, kind of, you know, a circle of people, circus, served as an ancient vehicle of spreading information. A media circus. Crisis, big change in society. Commander. 10 captains of the offering system. Well, they're not quite as significant. But devil, the devil, right? Devil, the wheel. As in the wheels of life. So, I don't know. There's just so many things to sort of derive from it. But anyway, yeah. So, let me give you the quick thing on... this, right? So my understanding at the beginning of this... Yeah, let's just read this intro. There's an intro at the top. Let's read the intro, see what they say. And I'll shorten it down if I have to. Okay, so from the Bock Saga, www.bocksaga.info, their introduction says, the Bock Saga is a Finnish name for it as well, which I'm not even going to try and pronounce. The mythology has been meticulously transferred as an oral tradition from generation to generation within the Bock family in Finland, and has until now never been written down. In 1984, Aya Bock, as the last member of the family, had the right to present the saga to the outside world. The material that we like to present here is an introduction to some of the aspects and dimensions of the saga which shed new light into the culture and history, historical, linguistic and mathematical and mythological studies, plus the archaeological excavations are confirming the information given by Aya Bock. In this documentation, we can only give a small insight into the material available to us. We would like to draw a picture and at the same time create a base for future activities. Our further purpose is to create an impulse for the essential breakthrough concerning the excavation of the Lemnican temple described in this documentation. Yeah, I practiced saying that one from before. But yeah, that was the temple. So basically, this temple, Lemnican temple, Lemnican temple was a temple where it is said that at some point in ancient history, some Finnish soldiers have come across this temple. Basically, this Finnish king then that finds this temple, and it's supposed to have contained some of the history, some ancient history from quote unquote Atlantis. So they got some ancient archives from Atlantis, but the information in it was too ahead of it was too advanced. Okay, so they were tasked. They decided to sit on the information. They recognised that it was important, and they recognised that it was very advanced, and they recognised it was probably going to take centuries to really understand it properly. So, but there was enough in there to know it mattered. So this family, the story goes, protected the knowledge, and they kept it tight and sort of shielded and away from the world, and to sit. And the plan was they're going to wait for 1,000 years, and that it was about on schedule sort of thing. That's how long they thought it would take for scientists to kind of catch up. And it is true that science has had to take this long to catch up with some of the things they're talking about, because what it gets into is that there's a language system that they derive from nature in an unusual way, but they've got a language system from nature that's harmonically toned, and if you don't tell the truth, it's out of harmony. If you get a story wrong, it's harmonically incorrect. Okay, and not only this, it helps to increase neuroplasticity in the brain. So this is why it was like, oh, you're gonna have to wait until neuroscience gets invented, and then CAT scans, and do you know what I'm saying? You've got to get some much better chemistry knowledge. So that was the deal, from what I remember. But anyway, looking at the introduction then from the website. Okay, so I've given you the quick skinny on the temple, and I have the finest information. So the saga, a brief introduction. Humanity was one family consisting of 5 classes: the Piru-et, the Ross-et, the Yara-et, the Kara-et, and the Trell-et. The Piru-et and the Rus-et were the Asa. They were known as the Asa inside Odin, or a bit like that, like the Asgard. In the the main people in Asgard. The Yallet, the Kullet, the Trellet were the Vanna, living outside of Odemna. Okay, so the way they set up these cities, they had the main city in like a circle, and then they didn't have. You can't have a patch of land where we might say, "Oh, that's this city and that's this city," and no, one patch of land is one city. So they'll have a circle for the main city, and then a ring around it would be considered another city. So the next layer out then becomes another city. And then as that expands, the next layer out after that is considered another city. So the cities are actually radial, and they like ringlands, they call them. Okay. And they do that so that they've got a main structure of where the main blood is, the purest bloodline, and then they'll have a ring that comes out, and they very carefully monitor how the bloodline gets watered down, so it don't get watered down too much. They have a really intricate system to keep the bloodline pure for everybody all the way through. It's kind of weird. Anyway, so they've got this weird system where they have a pyramidal family structure was guaranteed. The top of the pyramid was formed by the Bock family, the Piru-et. It consisted of Per, the All-Father, and Ella, the Earth Mother, Bock and Svan, who created the 12 sons and 7 daughters. The first son was Ra. The first son was Ra. The first daughter was Maya. They became king and queen of the family because they were 27 years old. They did not make any children, nor did the following 10 brothers and 6 sisters. Okay. When the 12th son became 27, he took over the position of his father and became the new Bock, who again begot 12 sons and 7 daughters, with a new Svan, chosen from the Varna. So they have these selected arranged marriages. Okay. Together with the Dysas, the stem mothers, as in stem cells and stems, mother plants, right? So you got these Odysseus stem mothers. The Bock created a second class of rosette consisting of Rabbi, Na, and Dissi, and Sine, and Tor, and Torah, and Ter, and Terah. The rabbis became the allfathers of the ringlands outside of Odemma. The Nars represented the male part, and the seniors, and the Nars with the male part and the seniors, and the female part is the information systems that spread out from hell, with one L, hell, over the whole planet. Okay, that's what it says. Hell. Okay, so let me say it again. The rabbis became the allfathers of the ringlands outside Odemna. The Nars represented the male part, and the seniors, the female part of the information system that spread out from hell over the whole planet. That's disseminating information, is hell then. In appreciation of the Bock known as Lemelakenin in Van language, a temple was built inside the bedrock 30 kilometers east of Hell. The upper part of this temple served ceremonial purposes. The larger lower part is a storehouse known as Manala, the underworld, filled with artifacts and works of art of its heathen cultures, because it just says heathens. It was extended over millions of generations under the Ice Age, and was caused by the shift of the Earth and galaxy's axis 50 million and 10,000 years ago, before 1984. So they're saying the entire galaxy's axis shifted. After this catastrophe, the so-called First Ragnarok, about 50% of the northern and southern hemispheres were covered with ice. Continuation of life was possible only in the equatorial or tropical areas. In Europe, the ice stretched a little further than the Alps and the Pyrenees. Because of the warm Gulf Stream originating from the Gulf of Mexico and flowing above the ice into the Finnish Gulf, Odemna was kept free from ice. The Assa could live on this area and now separated from the Varna, who resided south of the ice border. This period was called Atlantis, all of land ice, all the land ice, as in it's all covered in ice. Atlantis, all land ice. Interesting word, Atlantis. And this marks the beginning of the Arctic culture of the Assa. They had to become Arctic people. Was obviously there was in the nice tropical area, but they were cool. The Varna surviving the catastrophe in the tropical regions, developing during the 15 million years into 10 different races, and then 10 different languages based on Van languages and 10 different mythologies. Okay, the kings of these races were called Allfathers, and their emperors was per Bock in hell. The empires as were per Bock in so the empires in hell. Okay, Atlantis was destroyed during the second Ragnarok 10,000 years before 1984, when changing climatological circumstances moved Scandinavia ice masses towards the south. The now pale-skinned with blue-eyed and green-eyed Arctic Assa saved themselves. The knowledge of the past history and treasures of the Arctic culture, like agriculture, livestock, breeding plants and animals. They went by boat to Gotland, where they lived for 1,000 years, waiting for this time when Odemma could be re-inhabited again. Okay, so by a freak of nature then, because they were separated by an ice wall, they were hardened up. Half of the society got hardened up to live in the ice in Arctic situations. Right, so they would have been tougher, so they're the ones that survived. The ones that stayed in the tropical area, yeah, not so adaptable. That's pretty interesting. Kind of fascinating, really. It's like the ones that got the bad luck are the ones that ended up surviving the next catastrophe to be able to pass the knowledge on. No, strange twist of fate. Yeah, once the second Ragnarok comes. Ah. So during the Atlantis time, the planet existed to reunite her humanity as one big global family after ice time. The result should have been the abolition of the pyramidal societal structures after a period of 10,000 years, therefore the Ice Age. In every generation, 10 sons of the Bock and Sven were sent into the 10 kings and 10 different tropical races. The tasks were to construct new information systems in a concrete execution of the plan. However, some of the more than 12 sons and daughters of the Bock family went their own way. So some of them maybe became tyrants then. So they had this hierarchy system to keep everything nice during disaster times, and some people have gone rogue. Getcha. Daryl, hi there. Yeah, 1 year, piano playing, yeah. Just as long as you enjoy yourself and the odd music there. Maple Bob. Hey, Daryl. I didn't tell anyone. I couldn't get it to stream, Daryl. It kept crashing. I've been having some issues, so I didn't bother even I don't tell people anyway, do I, from doing a show, but I'm trying to remember to advertise, Daryl. I'm trying. KUAP Digital Broadcasting, Trouble Minds Radio. I said it at the beginning, in the intro, but twice, but it crashed. But I might have done it on this one. But I'm on a radio clock. I'm trying to be a good boy. But yeah, I'll keep going, Daryl. I'll keep trying. But anyway, yeah, Bock Saga. This is a weird one. So it's, yeah. So in this then, it sounds like, they survived. They had these separate families with their own empires and that because of disaster. It was supposed to go back around the world and tell everyone, okay, it's raining in now, no more hierarchy systems, get back to living nice. And some of them went their own way, probably became tyrants. Okay. So for the video viewers, and if you want to check this out on the internet, I'll put the links in the description, as always. But yeah, check this website out. It's some nifty little images too. Entrance of the... Because the temple is a real temple. The Dominican temple is a real place, and it does kind of look funky and old. You did find me, Daryl. You found me. Where have you been all my life? Been waiting ages. What the hell? I'm waiting here. Anywho. This is a weird one, Bock Saga. I wrote to Farsight about this. I wanted him to do projects on this one. Because I want to do a series on it. Like I say, I was holding out. So I was going to do an audiobook for it. Which I might still do. Screw it. Because it was... I don't know. I did write to the people. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, the supposed to find some ancient information in here. And some of the words that they've got some weird connotations, and we've heard the words before. Like here, look. Like today, okay, so you've got this, we have this system of structures, hierarchical family system. Okay. And when a new Dominican took over the reign of the artifacts of the former, when they were transferred into the halls and the chambers being constructed for him at Manala. The system of appreciation, known as Jehovah, a system of appreciation, Jehovah, continued up the beginning of the Ice Age in Finland and Russia. This custom was practiced until 987, when a temple was sealed. And that's interesting because the Vikings did go to they set up trade outposts down the Volga River with the Russians and the Slavics back then. They said, so the Russia and the Slavics and Scandinavians, they've been doing ritualistic type stuff for a long time. And then when people talk about Tataria, and then it turns out it's a region, there's been lots of empires, it gets me thinking, yeah, old Eastern Europe there, and the Slavics and Northern Europe, they've got some ancient stuff, I think, that's not been talked about, you know. And if they had some really goody stuff, and then some of their separate empires like went a bit rogue, and one of them's probably the Rothschilds, probably supplanted everything and took all the wealth from all of them. That's my own personal thoughts on this one, because I kind of heard somebody speculate on that in the beginnings of finding out about this. But anyway, that's this is a brief introduction anyway into the Bock Saga on Exile Minds podcast today, the Thursday show, 25th of May. Although it's just gone past midnight now for me. But yeah, just want to get this one out there. Bock Family Saga, check it out, get the book, or just wait for me to do another series on this one in a week or two. But yeah, we're gonna do this one as a bit by bit thing, because it's crazy. It's crazy. I got this. How many chapters to get through? I only got about here. Here we go. I got about a third of the way through. It just blew my head off. I had to stop and then decide what I was going to do with it and write to the authors and whatnot. But anyway, yeah, gets crazy. But I forgot to tell you just to the end. It gets the guy does the thing to himself. The snake swallowing the snake. It's about a guy. They have a figurine of a guy got his legs around his own head, and his own seed goes in his body and makes his brain just connect with nature, and he gets this language. So I'll show you an image next time. You'll see. They've got figurines of it. Not an image. Well, yeah, but yeah, we'll do one in a week or two. A Bock Saga follow up, part 2, probably 3 and 4 as well. So it's a bit of a long story, this one. But the stream seems to work in. Unexpected show today. So, you know, we'll give that a go. But anyway, that's it for Exile Man's podcast today. The Bock Saga, quick introduction to the story. So I'll have to get going now, wrap it up. Hate to go, but we've got to stick to the clock, so that's enough from me. Famously and Martin with Exile Minds podcasts, and yeah, let's start getting some music faded in like a prologue. Oh yeah. Exile Minds podcast. Like, share, and subscribe. Links in the description. Check the link tree. Check out Troubled Minds Radio, KUEP Digital Broadcasting. Catch you next time, folks. Be good to each other. Take care. Don't take it too seriously, and don't watch the news if you're feeling down, because it'll make it worse. Anyway, take it easy. Good night. Thanks for tuning in, Daryl. Nice to see you, Maple Bob. See you later.